Let me paint the picture for you. You have finally launched your business. Your website is up. You've got your sign up saying that you're open, and within weeks, or maybe even days, your inbox is full or people are walking into your business and they're asking questions like, can you sponsor our gala this year? Can you donate to our youth program? Or how about becoming an affiliate with our organization? Or what about this one? We'd love to have you advertise in our program book. If it feels like everyone wants a piece of your business, you are not crazy. You're just visible. In today's episode, we're going to learn how to say no, but saying no without sounding like a villain. Because here's the thing, the requests are coming, and if you're not ready, you'll be out of alignment, out of energy, and your business will be out of budget real quick. Welcome to In My Business, the show where I keep it real about launching and growing a business while juggling family, relationships, community, and everything else in between. I want to pull back the curtain and try to make the chaos make sense. I'm your host, Dr. Tiffany Allen Smith. I'm a business owner, I'm a veteran, a wife, a mom, and a proud member of the I Had to Figure It Out the Hard Way Club. This show is for anyone standing at the edge of entrepreneurship asking, can I really do this? I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. But let's talk about it first. We're going to dive right into something that every business owner faces, but I've rarely heard it talked about strategically. And that's how to handle sponsorships and donation requests in a way that serves both your community and your business goals. If you've been in business for even just a few months, you know that these requests are coming. And I want you to see it as a beautiful thing, because it means that people see you as someone who cares and has the capacity to make a difference. That's a huge compliment to the brand that you're building. I want to help you turn those requests from overwhelming decisions into strategic opportunities that's going to align with your values, support your community, and strengthen your business. Because guess what? You can do all of those things. Let me share a story with you. When I first opened my business, of course I was motivated. Of course I was excited about everything. And I wanted my brand to be everywhere. I wanted to say yes to so many different things. Local youth sports teams, professional associations that I was already a part of, to my alma mater. Even though that enthusiasm was beautiful and it came from a genuine place of wanting to give back and be the type of business owner I respected, I learned something from that. Because within that first year, I had completely blown past whatever sponsorship budget I had in my head. And while I felt good about giving back to all of those organizations and to have my brand spread across so many different things, I realized that most of those events I supported, they weren't actually connecting me with potential customers. There wasn't any meaningful relationships being built from them. It was just my brand being represented. So bottom line up front, I had 0 new customers from most of them. Now, before you think the story has a negative ending, it doesn't. That year taught me a valuable lesson, which is why I am sharing this with you. Strategic giving is actually more impactful than reactive giving. When I shifted from saying yes out of impulse or just because I wanted my brand to be spread across so many different entities, and I started to create this thoughtful framework for the way I wanted to support my community, something amazing happened. My contributions actually became more meaningful, and my business relationships actually strengthened. I was also able to sustain a higher level of giving over time. With that being said, I want you to reframe how you think about sponsorship requests. Instead of seeing them as an interruption or a financial drain, I want you to start looking at them for what they really are. It's an opportunity for you to strategically build your brand while making a genuine impact. Naturally, folks are going to assume that you have an advertising budget because you just opened your business and you have extra money available, right? They don't see you are still trying to figure out what your margins are. You haven't yet hit profitability. You've just opened. They also don't see that every dollar counts, and that includes the ones that you give away. Most of these sponsorship requests, they're going to sound urgent and important, and many of them are. But your job is to lead with clarity and not guilt. Over the course of having your business, you're going to have so many opportunities to align your brand with causes that you're going to care about. I want you to develop the mindset that every strategic yes can turn into a long-term relationship and visibility for your business. You'll have the opportunity to build a reputation as a thoughtful, strategic community partner rather than just someone they can contact to give them more money. So what I want to do now is share some steps to help you build a framework for your community giving. Let's start with step number 1, and that's going to be to create your sponsorship policy. You heard that correctly. I want you to create a sponsorship policy. Even if it's just you working in your business, create something you can still orient to as your business grows. And folks, this isn't about being corporate. It's about being professional and sustainable. Ask yourself this: what can I realistically allocate annually without compromising any of my business operations? And when you ask yourself this, set an amount that doesn't just feel good, but is also realistic. Whether that's $500 or $2,500, make sure that you can afford to give it away. Because here's the thing. This sponsorship may or may not lead you to business. The hope is to gain business, but that might not happen all the time. The next thing is to ensure that there's some sort of mission alignment. Think about the causes that genuinely connect to your business values and the organizations that will connect to your target audience or your customer. If you're the owner of a bookstore, look for causes that will bring in that customer base for you. People that like to read. Where do they normally go? They could go to the nearest coffee shop. If that coffee shop is looking for sponsors for an event they're hosting, that's a good opportunity for you to connect because your target audience can be found in that coffee shop. You want to make sure that there is alignment with who you are supporting. Now let's move right over into step 2, the type of support that you will offer. Here is something that is going to blow your mind. Are you ready for it? You don't always have to provide a cash donation. I know that's what they usually ask for, but your donation doesn't have to be financial only. Think about it. You're a business owner. This is a good opportunity for you to start thinking of other ways you can show support. And let me help you out and give you a few. One of the ways that you can show support that doesn't require a financial contribution on your part is you can offer skills-based volunteering. If you have a certain area of expertise, a certain level of skill, you could potentially provide that to an organization in exchange for sponsorship. You can do that. Here's another way: in-kind services. If you have a business that can provide product or service, you can offer that in lieu of a financial contribution. I'll give you an example. I own a printing and graphic design company. There's an organization asking for sponsors, and the lowest level is $250. This organization aligns with my business and will connect me with my target audience, but I'm low on cash. I do not have it to give. I am really close to tapping out of my annual contribution, but I still want to support. One thing that I have done is I have provided $250 worth of printed products for their event in lieu of a financial contribution. This is a great way to support that event, showcase my business, and connect to my customer, but with something I can provide instead of a donation. Now, when I'm doing this is still a part of my sponsorship policy. So whatever my budget was for that year, this amount that I'm providing for them in services is absolutely being deducted from that. So it's not in addition to what I set out. This is a part of it because my business is using its resources to support another business. And I want to make sure that I am accounting for that. All right, let's move on to another way that you can show support. You can leverage your network. This is so important. If you are unable to support that organization, but you know someone that may be willing or better aligns to that organization, why not? Why not tell them, I am not able to support your organization at this particular time, but I can share this with my network. And maybe you'll find someone that will be willing to donate to your cause. And you can do that by sharing their information on your social media channels. If you have a social media page, share their information there. If you send out a newsletter, put their information in that newsletter. There are other ways that you can provide support. This is your business and you supporting strategically. These organizations remember thoughtful partners. When you build relationships with other community-minded business owners, your reputation as a strategic and generous business is going to be more respected. Hey, entrepreneurs, you know what fuels great content? Amazing coffee or tea. And you could be the hero behind my next caffeinated breakthrough. If you want to power this podcast while getting your brand highlighted to our awesome community, let's team up. Sponsor my coffee and tea habit, and you'll get a business highlight during the show and in my blogs for the week. It's advertising, but way more fun and personal. Because let's be honest, behind every great podcast episode is someone who believed in caffeine. And hopefully that someone could be you. Are you ready to fuel the show? Reach out by visiting my website at drtiffscommunity.com and clicking on that sponsor button. Let's brew up something amazing together. Welcome back. We are talking about handling sponsorship requests strategically. We've talked about step 1, which was to develop that sponsorship policy. And we also talked about step 2, which is decide how you would like to provide that sponsorship, whether it's with a financial contribution or with some sort of in-kind donation. All right, we are moving on to step 3. Step 3 is to define your sweet spot categories. Choose 2 to 3 focus areas that you're passionate about, things that you really feel aligned with, as we talked about earlier. And this doesn't mean that you'll never support anything else, but it does help you make the decision. So I'll start. I'm passionate about education and youth development. I'm passionate about veteran support and about entrepreneurship. So my support tends to go towards those things. It makes it easier for me when a charity comes to my inbox or walks into my organization. Because if they're supporting one of those 3 things, I'm more inclined to want to support them or want to get strategic about how I can support them. If not now, then maybe in the future. We're going to move on to step 4. In step 4, create tiers of support that work for you and your business. I want you to hear me out on this one. And this is my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. If that organization can create tiers of support that work for them and their goals, then you should be able to create tiers of support that work for you and your goals. Think about this. If that organization is approaching your small business and they're asking for you to agree to one of the sponsorship levels that they've created, I'd like you to push back if you can, because at this point, you've already developed levels that work for your goals and that are realistically based off of what you can afford to provide. So here's my feedback on this. Develop your own levels of support. And when it comes time to have that conversation with those organizations, I don't want you to look at it as a bad thing. I want you to start being more strategic about your giving, and this is just one way to do that. Let's dig into some of these levels. Think about what type of support you would want for your contribution. First level is the champion level. I'm going to say it's a range of $1,000 to $5,000. This is your top level of support. So anything over that $1,000 mark at that level, think about what you want for your business. You want this to be a full sponsorship package that is prominently branded. You would like for your logo to be on the signage as the guests walk in. You want to have the opportunity to speak to the audience about your business or whomever the moderator is at that event. You want them to talk about your business for 30 seconds or so. Think about all of the things that you would want at that champion level and how much you are willing to donate. The next level is the partner level. Partner level is going to be a range of $500 to $900. And with this level, you understand that it's a moderate sponsorship. Now you need to define what moderate means for you. Maybe it's your logo on the poster board that is on the outside of the event. Maybe it's a few shares on social media. Maybe it is a 30-second spiel on your business for attendees and guests. Think about what that range at that partner level will mean to you and your business. The next level is going to be the community level. And let's say that's a range from $250 to $499. You see what I'm doing with this? We're going down in our ranges and we're setting the conditions of what we would like to see happen at these particular levels. But the community level, let's say this is where you are looking for more in-kind support. Maybe you want to provide a gift certificate for guests to come to your location and then they will receive that amount in services. Maybe it's for a raffle and you want to put a $250 prize in that raffle. Whatever you decide to do for that particular level, that's a good opportunity for you to think about what you would like to see at that $250 to $499 range. The last level is going to be the advocate level. Now, this is a non-monetary support level. Whether you're agreeing to support and promote the organization, leveraging your network, using your social media channels, volunteering your time, it is a non-financial way for you to give back to that organization. And again, think about what that means for your business. Is that they're sharing your logo on social media? Have they identified you as a sponsor? Think about what you would like to see at that advocate level. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can change as much as you like, but at least you have something in place and you are starting to identify what you would like to see as a result of your giving. Now, I've given you 4 different levels to think about. We have the champion, which is prominent branding, the partner level, which is moderate branding, the community level, which is you offering in-kind support or gift certificates. And then we have the advocate level, leveraging your network or volunteering your time. Think about those 4 levels. If that is something that aligns with you and your business, make it your own. Change those names, change those amounts, whatever you need to do, but own it. All right, here we go. We are now going to identify the last step, and that is step 5. Step number 5, develop templates. Create 3 different templates. You can use your AI software, so ChatGPT or whatever software you use. But I want you to be prepared to quickly respond to these 3 opportunities. The first is those that align with your business and you are able to support. The second one is those that do not align with your business and you will not support. This is going to save you so much time. You have that template saved. You can just copy and paste, change the organizational name, send it, and be done. Last, I want you to develop a template for those that align, but your sponsorship budget has already been met. So you want to support them, but you can't. For your first template, which is for those that align with your business and you are able to support, you could say something like, "Thank you so much for reaching out. This aligns well with my business and community values. I'd love to discuss how we can support you within our partner level sponsorship. Can we schedule a brief call to explore something that'll fit for both of our organizations?" Think about it. If you've already created your levels of support, this will be a good opportunity for you to have that conversation on that call. So for that second template, for those that do not align with your business and you will not support, you can say something like, "Thank you for reaching out. While this doesn't align with our current business values or focus, I do admire the work that you're doing, and I'd be happy to share your information with my network or maybe provide you with some promotional support through our community board. But I do want to pause and say, if you offer to share anything on your social media, then do it. Because awareness is important to these charitable organizations. Sharing does not cost you 1 cent, and you never know if this is going to lead to a future opportunity for your business. Always make sure that if you're promising to do something, go ahead and do it. That third template is for those whose sponsorship budget has already been met. You can say something like, "Thank you for reaching out. I'm honored you thought of us. This is such an important cause. Unfortunately, we've allocated our community support budget for the year, but I'd love to keep you in mind for our next review period." Then tell them when your next review period is. Please feel free to reach out then. All right? So that's 3 templates for 3 different types of scenarios. You may develop a 4th or a 5th for a 4th or 5th scenario, whatever works for you. But it would be really helpful to go ahead and create those templates. And when the time comes, you don't want to ignore these requests because you're still trying to build these relationships and you never know where they may lead as your business grows. This is a good opportunity for you to start thinking ahead and being prepared to communicate with them if you can or cannot support them. Before you say yes to a sponsorship, make sure that it is aligned with your business and ask yourself, will this connect me with potential customers, referral partners? Will this connect me with something that is going to help grow my business? Also, make sure that it matches your business values. So here's the takeaway. Saying no doesn't mean that you're selfish. It means that you're thinking about your business, what you can realistically afford to give, And it also means that you're thinking about making more meaningful connections with the organizations that you're generously providing support to. So we talked about those steps. Step 1, create that sponsorship policy. Step 2, think about how you want to support the organization. Is it with a cash donation, an in-kind donation, or volunteering? Step 3, think about your sweet spots and identify those 2 to 3 focus areas so that when a request comes across your desk, you're easily able to either connect with it or put it off to the side. Step 4, create tiers of support that work for you and your business. And be willing to have the conversation with those organizations to see if there's any flexibility in being able to curate something that works for both organizations. And then that last step, step 5, developing those response templates. This is going to be so important because as you identify if they align with your business and you're able to support them, if they align with your business and you can't support them, or if they don't align with your business and you're unable to support them, you'll be able to quickly react to those. Don't just leave them on red. Respond to them and think about this as a future relationship in the making. I want you to practice your no so that it feels natural and gracious. Remember, the right organizations will respect your boundaries, and they'll also respect your strategic approach. In fact, many of those organizations will appreciate working with someone who thinks long-term about the impact that they want to make on the community. Go ahead and follow me at drtiffscommunity.com. I can also be found on Substack. I share articles there that complement the podcast episodes. You can also find me on Meta. You can find me on IG. And you can look me up anywhere that you listen to podcasts by searching In My Business. But hey, I look forward to hearing from you, and I would love to hear your success stories with handling sponsorship requests strategically. Let me know what you're doing that's working. Until then, entrepreneurs. Thanks for being in my business. If this episode made you nod, think, or resonated with you in any way, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget, leave me a review, share some questions, and come back next week. We've got more to talk about.